Close your eyes for a moment, and imagine this. You wake up tomorrow morning, and the first thought that crosses your mind isn't worry. It isn't fear. It isn't that sinking feeling about bills, deadlines, or missed opportunities. It's a feeling of calm certainty, as if something invisible has already rearranged the pieces of your reality overnight. There's a letter waiting on your table, a check you weren't expecting. Your phone lights up, an opportunity you never even applied for. And for the first time in a long time, you feel a deep, peaceful knowing that life has finally started to respond to you. Now, here's the secret most people miss. What triggered all of this wasn't a ritual, wasn't a vision board, and wasn't endless affirmations. It was just 2 words, spoken with such clarity, such emotion, such conviction, that they reprogrammed the frequency of your entire being. You see, the universe doesn't respond to effort. It responds to energy. It doesn't read your words, it feels your state. And most people are repeating hundreds of affirmations from a state of lack, frustration, or disbelief. They're saying one thing but vibrating another. They say, I want abundance, but their heart says, I don't have it. They say, I am rich, but their nervous system whispers, I'm still broke. That conflict is what cancels the manifestation before it ever arrives. But when you learn how to speak 2 specific words from a coherent state, when your heart and mind align in one rhythm, something extraordinary happens. Reality bends. Circumstances reorder. And the impossible becomes visible. Now, the 2 words we're about to explore are not random. They carry a specific energetic charge, a pattern of vibration that directly commands your subconscious mind to open the gates of material wealth. But before I reveal them, let's understand why 2 simple words can carry so much power. Neville Goddard taught that the world outside you is nothing more than the world inside you pushed out. Everything you experience, every dollar in your account, every opportunity, every moment of lack or overflow, is just a mirror reflecting your dominant state of consciousness. That means if you can shift your state, you automatically shift your world. So here's the question, what determines your state? Not your thoughts alone, but the emotional meaning attached to them. Thought without feeling is like a seed thrown on dry ground. But when feeling waters it, it comes alive. This is why Neville often said, feeling is the secret. It is the bridge between the invisible and the visible, between imagination and manifestation. When you combine thought and emotion, you activate creation. Now let's move into the essence of this teaching. The 2 words that unlock huge money, not by magic, but by energetic law, are thank you. Yes, just those 2. But not the way you've been taught to say them. Most people say thank you as a polite response, a social habit, a mechanical gesture. But in the spiritual realm, thank you is a declaration of completion. It's the language of the fulfilled. When you say it with full emotional conviction, you're telling your subconscious, it's done. You're not asking anymore. You're receiving. Gratitude, when felt deeply, is the emotional signature of abundance already realized. Think about it. When you thank someone for a gift, it means you've already received it. You're not begging, hoping, or waiting. You're in possession. So when you begin to say, thank you, not for what you see, but for what you know is real within the unseen, you send a command to your subconscious to reorganize your world accordingly. The universe has no choice but to mirror that vibration. Neville described this as living in the end. You assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You walk, talk, breathe, and feel as though your desire has already been completed. Gratitude is the emotional form of that assumption. When you express it from the depths of your being, your inner world shifts into alignment with wealth. You no longer try to manifest, you simply exist in the state of having. So let's go deeper. Close your eyes. Imagine yourself holding a large sum of money, more than you've ever seen before. Feel its texture. Sense its weight. Feel the emotion of relief, of excitement, of possibility. And now whisper within, thank you. Not weakly, not mindlessly, but with full force, from your heart. Feel the tears rising if they must. Let your body feel what it would feel like if this were already real. That Right there is the vibration that attracts. Because in that moment, you are no longer trying to become wealthy. You are being wealth. You are the embodiment of abundance. The subconscious doesn't care about the timeline. It doesn't care whether something is physical or imagined. It only responds to the dominant emotional frequency. And when that frequency is gratitude, the subconscious translates it into tangible experiences that match. That's why you'll start noticing sudden shifts, someone paying back old debts, unexpected refunds, or new business ideas appearing in your awareness. These are not coincidences, they are the echoes of your new state rippling outward into form. But let's be honest, most people never reach this level of gratitude. They try it for a few minutes, maybe a day or two, but then they look at their bank balance and say, it's not working. The problem isn't that gratitude doesn't work. It's that their gratitude was conditional. They were still attached to the evidence. Real gratitude doesn't wait for proof, it creates it. Real gratitude isn't about faking positivity, it's about surrendering into certainty. Neville Goddard would say, dare to assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled and persist in that assumption. Gratitude is how you persist. Every thank you is another brick in the invisible structure of your new reality. Every time you express it without needing a reason, you are planting a seed in the subconscious soil. And eventually, it must bloom. You can begin this process right now. The next time you feel fear about money, don't fight it. Don't affirm the opposite. Instead, close your eyes and say softly within, thank you. Feel it. Mean it. Let it wash through the fear. Because gratitude is a higher frequency, and when a higher vibration enters, the lower one dissolves. You cannot be grateful and fearful at the same time. The two cannot coexist. Gratitude automatically reorganizes your inner chemistry, your electromagnetic field, and your thought patterns. Science even supports this. When you feel genuine gratitude, your brain releases dopamine and serotonin, chemicals that regulate your mood, motivation, and focus. Your heart enters coherence, meaning your heartbeat and brainwaves synchronize into harmony. In that state, your electromagnetic field expands. You become literally magnetic, not metaphorically, but biologically. And whatever matches that frequency, people, ideas, opportunities, begins to move toward you. Now, some of you might be thinking, but I've said thank you many times and nothing changed. The key is this, it's not about repetition, it's about embodiment. You can say, thank you, 1,000 times with doubt and still attract nothing. Or you can say it once, with full faith, and shift your entire destiny. The subconscious doesn't count words, it measures energy. So the goal is not to say it often, but to say it real. Let me tell you a story. There was a man, deeply in debt, who attended one of Neville's lectures decades ago. He was desperate, working 2 jobs, and could barely afford rent. Neville told him to stop worrying and start living as though he already possessed the wealth he desired. The man went home and decided to test it. Every night, before sleep, he would close his eyes and whisper, "Thank you," over and over. Not for his current circumstances, but for the immense wealth he believed was already his in imagination. He would feel the relief of debts cleared, the pride of providing for his family, the joy of overflow. Within 6 weeks, a business opportunity appeared that wiped out his debts and multiplied his income beyond anything he had imagined. It wasn't luck. It was law. Gratitude bridges the invisible and the visible. And this is where most people stop. But here's the deeper layer. When you say, "Thank you," you're not just signaling the universe, you're dissolving resistance. Resistance is that inner tension between what you desire and what you currently believe possible. It's that voice that says, "This is too big for me." Gratitude bypasses that voice. It doesn't argue with it. It simply reprograms the feeling. You can't argue yourself into wealth, but you can feel yourself into it. Now, I want you to try something powerful tonight. Before you sleep, lie in bed, close your eyes, and breathe slowly. Imagine money flowing toward you, effortlessly, abundantly, continuously. Don't think about how or when. Just feel the safety, the relief, the joy. Then whisper from your heart, "Thank you." Do it until your entire body feels it. Fall asleep in that vibration. Because the moment you drift into sleep, your conscious mind turns off, and your subconscious begins its work. It takes that emotion as instruction. And from that night forward, your external world will begin rearranging itself to reflect that new state. You might notice small changes first, someone offering you a coffee, a forgotten refund, a random compliment that lifts your mood. Don't dismiss these. They're proof that the energy is shifting. Celebrate them. Every expression of gratitude multiplies what you have. It's a law of resonance. What you appreciate, appreciates. But there's a second phase to this process, and it's equally important. Once you start feeling grateful for what's unseen, you must also begin speaking from that identity. Don't talk about trying to attract money. Speak as if the flow already belongs to you. When you say, "Thank you," let it be the tone of someone who already knows they are taken care of, because in the higher dimension of consciousness, they are. The more you practice this, the less you'll need to manifest. Because you'll stop living from lack and start living from fulfillment. You'll stop searching for abundance and start radiating it. And that's when miracles begin to feel normal.